All right, Final Blessings. We are back with another video. Before we begin, a couple quick announcements. If you are interested in signing up for the different classes that I do offer, the way to do that is to go to the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, which is located at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Tier 3, that's the tier you want to join. That's going to give you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon, in addition to the group ritual we do every month together. We will be doing one tonight as the recording of the date of this video, Friday, October 27th, 2023. Tonight we have, if you are a member on Patreon, not sure if this video uploads before or after that, more than likely before, you will have access to that ritual, the ritual of the golden aspect of the Holy Death. And this ritual tonight will be focusing on overall good health and healing, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. And we will also be focusing on financial prosperity, which is important as we come into this new year. As this cycle ends, it's that time of the year. You'll hear me saying that a lot over the next month or so. And now it's time to fuel our intent for this next upcoming cycle that they call 2024. All right, so that's the way to get in on the classes, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. Tier 3 is the tier you want to join, and that will give you access to the rituals and the classes. All right. Also, if you're interested in a spiritual consultation or spiritual reading, I offer various different readings: Clepothic demonic readings, Santa Muerte readings, Egyptian oracle readings, deity readings. Whatever you're interested in, shoot me an email, khnum19@gmail.com, and I will send you information on how to book a spiritual reading or a spiritual consultation. Also, don't forget to check us out on Instagram. Primordial Chaos 9, all one word on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook, Primordial Chaos, 2 words on Facebook. All this new content I record here, I also upload all my YouTube videos on the Facebook page, so definitely check that out. Also, this new content is being uploaded to the official Primordial Chaos podcast, which can be found on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. The direct link to the podcast is in the description box of this video. Don't forget to hit the likes. The more likes the video gets, it expands out, enhances the algorithm, and the video reaches more people. You know how that goes. All right. So keep in mind, if you need to contact me for any of the aforementioned, and again, let me throw out there now, as we've completed the 6th annual Journey of the Black Addict Conference, the 7th annual Journey of the Black Addict Conference will be October 2024. More to come on that later down the road. All right, so again, my contact email, the direct link to the podcast, the direct link to the Patreon page to sign up for classes, all that's in the description box of this video you're watching right now. All right, so what I want to talk about in this short segment here is the Satanic Ingredients to Black Magic, which is a section in the Book of Belial in the Satanic Bible. Now, the Satanic Bible and its place today in the occult and the left-hand path. All right, there's going to be different perspectives on that. Obviously, it is a foundational piece to the occult and left-hand path, but it was written, keep in mind, it was written in a time in 1966 where basically it was the antithesis, the answer to Christianity, Catholicism, the Catholic Church, this, that, and the other. So it focused on that. Real Satanism, the occult, and the left-hand path really goes deeper than that. And I will say this, even the Satanic Church has pretty much over the years evolved, and their perspectives and how they look at the occult and the left-hand path has evolved. But when we talk about the Satanic Bible itself, okay, there's one, in my opinion, there's one book in there, the Book of Belial. To me, that's timeless across the board, regardless it's definitely something that you can apply across the board on your path because of what that section, the Satanic Ingredients of Black Magic, deals with. This is something I use, and I use it as a kind of as a tutorial or outline to teach people. It's one of the very small parts of the mentorship program. It's a good outline to use in how to create, write, and make your own rituals, right? So let's keep in mind, it gives you to me the formula of putting your ritual to an outline. Is everything lined up? Is everything right? Because if things don't check off, then it gives you the ability to go back, double check, and see if everything is aligned. So for an example, it has aspects in there. Well, first and foremost, is your intent in alignment, right? What is your intent? Anytime you set out to do a ritual, there obviously has to be a specific intent while you're doing the ritual, okay? And is your intent practical? See, this is the tough one. All right, so let me give you an example. You might be doing a ritual to be a superstar athlete in a sport. You might be doing a ritual to, maybe you love music and you want to be a singer, or maybe you want to be the best piano player, drum player, this, that, or the other. Being practical, there has to be some common ground there, because unfortunately some people think magic is poof, puff the magic dragon, light a few candles, do a few incantations and invocations, and everything is just going to happen. That's not the case. Okay? So the Satanic Ingredients of Black Magic shows you to make sure your intent is in alignment and it's practical, right? Is your intent practical? Is it obtainable? And when you analyze it and look at it in regards to yourself, and what you're trying to obtain, is it practical? Okay? The Satanic Ingredients of Black Magic also gets into timing, right? It talks about, now timing is not just the literal timing of your ritual, right? The timing and the things that's going on in your life, right? Is this the right time to be doing this particular ritual? Now, this is where you hear me talk about a lot over the years, that sometimes people are a little bit jammed up and they're focusing more on their wants than addressing their needs. This is right in place with timing, okay? So the timing may not be right for you to do a ritual for something materialistic, because you may have bigger, more important things to address. You might have some personal things going on, mental things, spiritual things, etc., that you need to focus on. And your attention and your energy could be in the wrong place. So the timing is off. So ask yourself, are there other things going on in my life that I need to be focusing on as opposed to this? Now, if not, and this is it, then you check that box off and you proceed forward. But the timing thing is so critical because of how it's so strongly connected to wants and needs. I can't stress that enough. Okay? And again, as I've said before, your ritual work is always designed with your needs first. Okay? Not the other way around. Okay? And again, one of the biggest problems with a lot of people on this path, unfortunately, they spend time chasing their needs. Now, their wants. Now, it doesn't mean, look, wants and desires is a part of this path, your existence. It's okay to indulge. It's okay to want to desire things. It's okay to want things, but it's got to be within reason, and it can't supersede your needs. Okay, because when we're ignoring our needs and not addressing our needs, and we're just focusing on bullshit, oh, I want a nice car, I want this and that, and we should want all those things. You know me, I'm big on encouraging to want the better things in life. Shit, I don't want to drive a piece of shit car. I don't want to live in a shitty ass place. I don't. But what I'm trying to say is those things tend doorways and opportunities and avenues open up for you to obtain those things when you focus on the important things first, the needs. Okay? not the other way around. So timing. Is this the right time for you to carry out this particular ritual? Now, again, I'm big on telling people, we just don't do shit randomly to be doing it, right? When it comes to ritual work. There's a purpose, a meaning, an intent of why you're carrying out a ritual. That's why we do it, right? We're on this path to master ourselves spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. The 5 points of self-mastery that I've created connected to the pentagram and the Baphomet, okay? Right? These are the reasons why we are here, right? If you're here for some Hollywood shit, you want to be some dark Hollywood magician, some shit you saw on the internet or in a movie, or if you're a dude, you think you can get all these power and fuck all these hoes and, and vice versa. If that's why you're here, you're going to get disappointed, okay? The hoes come. I'm just saying, man or woman, you're going to, the sex stuff, the money stuff, that stuff comes when you focus on knowledge of self first. When you focus on getting your life in order and everything that's in your immediate surroundings. That's first and foremost. That must be in alignment. That must be in a place. Because look, if your shit is all jacked up, you're all fucked up, your life's all jammed up, you're messed up on the inside, everything around you's jacked up, you ain't no good to nobody. You ain't even no good to yourself. Okay? And that has to be focused on first. So you got to get yourself right so you could be good to people outside of yourself. And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about if you got family, you got children, close friends, significant others, and all that. Your worth to them is shit because your stuff ain't right. Okay? So this is why we're always doing shadow work, right? Because shadow work is us working on the hidden aspects of ourselves, the good and the bad, right? It's the way we get to truly know ourselves, who we are, our nature, our personality, our characteristics, why we're like we are, the things we've inherited and picked up along the way through our upbringing. We all carrying a lot of fucking baggage that we picked up from a very small child to the present moment, okay? A lot of us, okay? And that stuff just doesn't disappear and go away. That stuff isn't just stuff that you can sweep up under the rug, because some of it leaves psychological residue. Okay? And when something is left with residue, it's fragments. Right? So we all are dealing with fragments of things we've experienced over the course of our lives. Okay? We need to understand all this when we're creating ritual work. But some people ignore all this shit and they want to do a sex ritual with Kali. Man, please get the fuck out of here with that shit. Okay? It's the old saying in Hermeticism, know thyself and thou shalt know the gods. Right? You can't know the gods, the goddesses, the demons, the spirits, the archetypes, the entities, all these different terms we use. You can't know them if you don't know yourself. And we're talking about truly knowing yourself. Not just the things you like about yourself and patting yourself on the back and giving yourself the fucking thumbs up on all the good. We're not just talking about that. We're talking about being, as they say, being real with yourself. Okay? So ritual work should always be designed, and one of the key factors in that satanic ingredients to black magic is timing. Right? So timing is there's a lot I can extract from this. Timing is critical. It's important in everything that you do. Okay, so ask yourself, is the timing right? And another thing it talks about is imagery, right? This is one of the ingredients in the Book of Blah, or the satanic ingredients to black magic, imagery. Excuse me. So now you want to look at the setup of your ritual, how you're going to organize it, how you're going to set it up, what implements and what imagery you're going to use for this ritual. Now, when it comes to imagery, right, I know this sounds simple. Man, sometimes we got some people out here who are just hard-headed, knuckleheads. Okay? When you are setting up a ritual setup for a ritual, in your altar space, at your altar, in your sacred space. Imagery needs to be in alignment with the current and energy of the ritual that you are carrying out. Okay? Please, you'll be surprised, I get some really crazy emails on this about altar setups. Can I do this? Can I do this or that? This, that, and the third. And people be sending me some really whacked out shit. Okay? In my opinion. Okay, there is no 100% certified way to do it. But I always ask, when you're unsure, if you're working with different currents, mixing different currents, all I would say is make sure there's similar energies that you're working with. If it's from different pantheons, etc. Right? It's that easy, that simple rule of thumb. Okay, I'm not going to put unicorns on my dark magic altar. I'm not gonna put new agey fluffinated shit on a magic working altar like that, right? I'm just showing you, okay, how sometimes the mind, and believe it or not, people think. Now again, as I said before, you can do whatever the fuck you want, right? We're all grown adults. And that's why I said there's no right or wrong way to do it, because I know there's going to be the one part, well, I do it like that, or I've done it, or this, that, and it. Then it doesn't apply to you. Don't worry about it. There's no need for you to ask the question. If you've done something like that and you swear by it, then it doesn't apply to you. Okay? But there is no 100% correct way to set up an altar and create a ritual. It's just simply based on the fact that it needs to be in alignment with the current of the ritual working that you're doing when you're creating imagery for a ritual. So if I'm doing a ritual for Leviathan, I want to use sigils for Leviathan and everything that's connected to Leviathan. If I'm doing a Lucifer working, same thing. I mean, it's common sense. Some shit, again, is common sense, but as I've said before, unfortunately, you either have common sense or you don't. You can't teach it. Okay? That's one thing you cannot do. Okay? Common sense cannot be taught. And I'm sure a lot of you feel me on that one, because some motherfuckers I've encountered over the years. Look, one of the most annoying things is meeting somebody who's so intellectual. They got so much book knowledge. They can regurgitate shit. They've read every damn book you can conceive of, but they dumb as a rock when it comes to common sense. That is very frustrating. So use common sense. Apply common sense. Right? When you're working these rituals, remember, I've said this before, when you're in your ritual chamber, your altar space, your working space, whatever you want to call it, the books don't do you no good no more. The things that you read only can help you if you apply and have come up with your own creative method when you're in the ritual room, okay? So that Satanic Ingredients, the Black Magic, I know a lot of you are probably familiar with it, especially if you're more of a seasoned occultist. You've probably read it. Some of you may have and may have forgotten it. I would encourage you to go back to it. Some of you may not be familiar with it, maybe some newer folks. Now, the Satanic Bible as a whole, LaVey's version of it, again, it's a bit outdated, but I being around and aware of it for so many years, I understand why it was written in that form. So you have to understand, when you're reading it, it was written in a certain time. It's like reading the Bible, right? The Bible is addressing certain periods of time, going back, quote unquote, when the writers wrote it. So it's going to have that feel. And there's a lot of things in the Bible that appear super outdated and contradict science, by the way, but it's a whole nother story. But you get my point. You need to be conscious and aware of that when you're reading it. Now, I would also encourage people to look at, and there's a difference of opinion on this. There was a little controversy of when it was first put out. I happen to like it. There was a revised version of the Satanic Bible that was done by the Temple of Set and Michael Aquino, right? I am an ex-member of the Temple of Set. And I'm not saying that because of that. As I said, now I have nothing to do with the Temple of Set. Left that because a lot of the politics and bullshit. Did a video on that a couple years ago. But that book came out in like 2018, I think, 17 or 18, somewhere around there. Yeah, I'm going to say 17 or 18. Maybe I'm wrong. Could be early 19. I don't know. But it was somewhere between 2017 and 19. I tend to like that version better. Now, the introduction, also part of that introduction, LaVey's daughter, kind of gets a stamp of approval for it. I know the Satanic Church didn't really care for it. There's always been this obvious tension between the Satanic Church and the Temple of Set due to the history. We know the history of Michael Aquino leaving the Church of Satan in 75 and starting the Temple of Set. Right, I'm not going to get into all that. I went into that in past videos, but I saw that shit was a bunch of bullshit too. A lot of politics, a lot of egos, a lot of power. But I will say the revised version of the Satanic Bible is a little bit more up to date in the now. Instead of the Enochian keys, they got the Eon of Set, and I use the Eon of Set out of the revised Satanic Bible in my ritual work. I'll use it in my workings with Set in a lot of my rituals, or I might just use it at my altar working with Set. So I would encourage people also to check out that revised version. The format, the way it's written, is the same. The outline is pretty much the same as the original Satanic Bible. And the Satanic Bible is not what people think it is. People spooked out. People hear, Satan and Satanic, oh my God. You gotta remember, the Satanic ritual and the Black Mass, it's psychodrama. Okay? And psychodrama is an important element of ritual. It's part of the imagery aspect, right? Because also to imagery and the environment and the energy of a ritual, whether you're adding ritual music or some other elements to the ritual. I like chamber music, or as I like to call it, ritual music. I like to use dark ambient music in my ritual workings, but I've also used very modern or current music. You can use hip hop, you can use modern music, because as I said, music carries certain energies, vibes, frequencies, through the sound and the tone, right? But the Satanic Bible in itself, as I said, the satanic ingredients to black magic, which is in the Book of Belial, right? And I think the Book of Belial, in my opinion, is the piece in there that's timeless. It's never outdated. It's the one thing that you can cross-reference to whatever you're doing on this path. And it is a tool I use, again, for people that I mentor, that are in the mentorship program, right? I show you how you write your own rituals from scratch. I show you how to look at the needs you got going on in your life as opposed to the wants. Because sometimes there's a thin line between them, and sometimes people can get very confused in regards to that. All right? So, having said that, I would encourage you, again, if you're not familiar with the Satanic Bible and the satanic ingredients to black magic in the Book of Belial, I would encourage you to seek that out, read it thoroughly, see how you can use that yourself as an outline for your writing and creating your ritual work. It's like a guideline, right? It's like make sure you check the boxes. And if you use it as a tool like that, it can be a very helpful tool, all right? So check that out. Other than that, I'm going to wrap this video up. Again, I'll see some of you guys this evening at the golden aspect of the Holy Death Ritual tonight, 8 o'clock, 8:15 or something like that. All right, I'll see some of you guys there. If you need to reach me, khnum19@gmail.com. Okay, that's the email in the description box of this video. Also, keep in mind the links to the social media pages, Primordial Chaos 9 on Instagram, Primordial Chaos on Facebook, the direct link to the Primordial Chaos podcast, my contact email address, and the direct link to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page, where you go to sign up for the private classes I do every month. I do 3 classes every month for Patreon members only. Okay? That's the way to get in on the classes, and we have a bunch of ongoing series. We've got Luciferian Magic and Self-Mastery class. We got Telepathic Sorcery. We've got Sith classes. These are all ongoing series. Shadow Work class. Ancient Egyptian Vampiric class. Right? I just added a new series. Necromancy and Dark Witchcraft. So all of these are ongoing series that are continual on the Patreon page. And when you sign up and join, you do get access to all the classes in the archive, which is a bunch. Okay, you can do the math when you go on there. So you don't just get access from the day you join moving forward. You get access to everything in the archives, which is quite a bit. And as I said, on the Patreon, I go in, it's more personalized. I go more in depth. I'm going to talk about things there I wouldn't even talk about openly on YouTube. All right? So all of that information is in the description box of this video that you're watching right now. Other than that, that's going to do it for me. Infernal blessings, and I will talk to you guys soon.